What's up YouTube, and today we're gonna do an $800 PC build guide. So the purpose of building this PC is primarily for productivity tasks and some gaming on the side. It'll be like, for me, a 60% editing rig and a 40% gaming rig. So we're gonna start off by enumerating all the parts, giving you a reason why I chose that part, and options if you have a higher budget or a lower budget, depending on which side are you, or are you more on the productivity side, or if you are more on the gaming side. Starting off with the processor, we chose the Ryzen 2700 Non-X for the processor. It has a base clock of 3.2 GHz and a max boost frequency of 4.1 GHz. It sports 8 cores and 16 threads that is very good when you're doing multitasking, especially if you're doing video editing tasks and a little bit of streaming while you are gaming. Now, other options for this processor are the 2600, which costs around $50 to $60 less. This is a very good option if you're only building a rig for gaming, because 6 cores, 12 threads for that processor is very ample when it comes to gaming. The higher end option would be the Ryzen 2700X version. It also sports an 8-core 16-thread, but it has a faster maximum boost clock and a faster base clock. Moving on to the motherboard, we have two requirements. One is it should be a B450 chipset motherboard. Another is that it should have Wi-Fi. And we chose the B450 Aorus Pro Wi-Fi from Gigabyte. Other options under the B450 chipset is the MSI Gaming Pro Carbon. It also has Wi-Fi, but at the time of this build, it costs $50 to $60 more than this motherboard. If you're not planning to use Wi-Fi and you just need a B450 chipset, there are lots of options that are much cheaper than this one, like $30 to $40 cheaper. Under that segment, I would recommend Asus, Gigabyte, MSI, or ASRock. It will just be depending on you on what features would you like on your motherboard. For the memory, we chose the Corsair Vengeance Pro DDR4 RGB. It has a 3000 speed and a cast latency of 16. Now, for $10 cheaper, there's a Ballistic Sport LT that is available in white color, rated at 3200. And for the higher option, we have the 3200 Corsair Vengeance Pro, but it costs $20 more at the time of filming of this video. The speed between 3000 and 3200 is not that noticeable when it comes to games, but the speed from 2400 to 3200 is very noticeable if you're using Ryzen. For the power supply, we chose the GameMax 600W 80+ bronze power supply. For $48, I think this is a steal. There are other options like the EVGA 450W power supply at $67. That is also rated at 80+ bronze. If you would prefer a higher wattage power supply, then EVGA does a 650W power supply rated at 80+ bronze as well. That costs around $90 to $100, more or less. As for the storage, we chose two devices. One is an SSD NVMe M.2 drive that is at around 512 gigabytes. Another is the Seagate Barracuda 2TB drive. Now, for hard drives, if you're just building a rig for gaming, then I would suggest that you also get a 2TB drive. Games nowadays are very demanding for space, and a 2TB is not that expensive compared to a 1TB drive. A 1TB drive costs around $33 while a 2TB drive costs around $53. Now, for double the space but less than double the price. Now, if you're really using this rig as an editing rig, then a higher storage space like a 5TB drive would be recommended. For me, I would recommend the 5TB Toshiba X300 drive that costs around $115. Now, moving on to the most interesting part of any PC building guide is the video card. For this build guide, we chose the Radeon RX 580. For me, the RX 580 would be ample in my chosen games and for the purpose of this PC, because primarily it will be productivity, but for gaming, I think the RX 580 will kick the ass of the games that I play, like the first-person shooter games that I love, like PUBG, Apex Legends, Battlefield, and so on. But if you're primarily building a gaming rig, then I would suggest that you go for the 1660 Ti for this segment of the market. I think the 1660 Ti would be a better fit if primarily you're into gaming, because it is like 20 to 30% faster than the RX 580. Now, as for the price, I got this video card for $139. The 1660 Ti's now costs at around $270. Now, $139, $279, I think that's a lot of money, but depending on your needs, it's your call. Now, upgradability. If you're primarily building a rig for gaming, then I would suggest that you get a 2600 for the processor and get a higher spec video card. That would be the 1660 Ti, or if you can spend a few bucks more, then the 2070 is a highly recommended gaming video card because it has the ray tracing features that will be very useful in the upcoming games this 2020 or 2022, and it's the current gen. But if you're more into productivity, then I would suggest that you upgrade your hard drive setup. And I would suggest that you upgrade your memory, because 16 gigs is nice if you're doing 4K editing, but 32 gigs is nicer if you're doing it for a living. Now, having all that said and having the overview of the parts, let's go build this stuff.
Palaging masaya na ako sa'yo. Handang-handa na maghintay, malabo mang magkatuluyan tayo. Bakit ba kasi nagkakilala pa tayong dalawa nang di sinasadya? Bakit ba ganon ikaw ay di ko magawang iwasan? Kahit piliting ko mang lumayo, ay hinahanap ka. Di ka na dapat pumasok pa sa isip ko, para di na ako nahihirapan pa sa kakasuyo sa'yo. Dinadaan na lang sa awit, laman ang aking damdamin. Bakit laging di mo pansin ang aking pahaging sa tuwing sinasabi ko sa'yo ako'y nahulog na? Piling mo binabola ka palagi, pero ang totoo, mahal na kita. Di ko maipaliwanag ang mga nadarama ko sa'yo. Ako'y maghihintay, malabo nang magtatagal tayo. kahit meron ka na. Kahit na alam ko na di ka pwedeng mapunta sa akin at imposible na makasama ka at laging yakap ka. Pinapangarap ka, hinahalilap ka. Sana'y ako na lang ang tanging nilalaman. Di na sana pinasan ang pag-ibig na sa'yo nilaan. Nais kong sabihin sa'yo ang di maamin, mga kabaliwan na itinatago ng puso't damdamin. Di mo man pansin ang mga salitang bahaging ay ayos lang sa'kin. Ikaw ay laging paglilingkuran at pagsisilbihan. Masama sila niyang kapalaging masaya na ako sa'yo. Handang-handa na maghintay, malabo mang magkatuluyan tayo.
So, we're done building the system. So, moment of truth. First, boot. Let's see if we can get to the BIOS. Wala. Sabi ko baliktad. Ay! First boot. Let's see if we can get to the BIOS. Let's wait. The video card is blinking. The cooler has lighted up. Oh! We are the
Takulang pero malayos ang guni-guni. Di na lang nasa panahon, di nagpahuli. Ayos lang kahit ilang beses magkamali. Takot lang ang kalaban mo sa bandang huli. Parang pader na nakaharang sa iyong daraanan ng iyong pag-aalilangan. Ano pa bang kailangan para lang mapatunayan na sa sarili mo, taglay mo ang kahusayan. Nananalig at tiwala na mga sandata na siyang pipinsala sa kalabang dampuhana. Dapat mong malaman na walang limitasyon ang mga nais mong gawin sa iyong imahinasyon.
So the $800 PC build is now complete. As you can see, we're already installing Windows. I can recommend this build to other content creators who want to do gaming on the side. And share this video, share this system, share this build, and share this video to your friends who want to build a system that is roughly under the $800 to $1,000 range. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, and as usual, see you in the next one.